There's a way to make an entrance.
This is my destiny.
It was now a conspiracy of witches.
Download Veely today.
Great design comes from a winning formula. Mine is as basic as a set of building blocks. Put them together, add up the results, and you've got a sensational room. Today's case study is Vernon and Kim's cramped kitchen, which has its challenges. I'm going to show you how customizing it and opening it up to the adjacent living space can give you more room than ever for fabulous meals, added versatility, and storage.
My, what an interesting layout this kitchen has, Thomas.
This is nuts.
Expanding the kitchen into that adjacent room would help make the layout much more functional.
Oh. Okay.
That's how you do it,
Do you know
Tommy.
how serious
The kitchen works against all logic with little room and even less flow.
Nothing fits.
I really want efficient storage, a well laid out kitchen, new countertops, something that just says wow.
I really want the kitchen to be a place where we're not afraid to entertain and have people over.
Our plan is to create an inviting, functional kitchen by customizing standard, out-of-the-box elements. The place to start is with the layout.
I would create a peninsula that would come out from where the railing is, because then you can have traffic flow that would go around. And maybe some more cabinetry for a whole lot more storage.
Yeah.
Could we remove that wall to open the space up a little bit more?
While we're at it, we're going to be removing all the walls, so why not?
You think we're taking out these walls?
Well, we have to figure out what to do with the space in front.
We need a really fresh idea here.
Yeah.
Here's our list for this cramped kitchen and lounge. The kitchen needs sensible layout and new cabinets, plus lots of storage and new counters. Both the kitchen and lounge need better lighting, uplifting paint colors, and new flooring. The lounge needs furniture and fabrics, drapery and accessories to unify and customize these important spaces. Ready to see what Vernon's kitchen looks like now?
This is amazing.
Wow.
Great kitchens aren't always about bigger space. Sometimes it's just about better usage. I didn't add a single inch of floor space to this kitchen. Instead, I just rejigged the storage.
This is a lot of storage space. I love it.
I think we've tripled the amount of storage space, and the overall look is cool, efficient, and functional.
It's really smart, but for me, smart's not good enough. You also have to be pretty. It's a beautiful kitchen.
Not every kitchen is big enough to accommodate a freestanding island, but I bet you can squeeze a peninsula in. Try for a dimension of 3 feet by 5 feet and see what it does to your storage and your counter space. You can never go wrong with an all-white kitchen, but sometimes it's fun to turn it up a notch and add some color. You can customize existing elements to get exactly what you want. Imagine it, any shade of the rainbow, and you can have it at home.
People tend to go hog wild on pot lights. Not smart and really expensive. So we chose a few pot lights, and then we let the rest be taken care of by the great vintage pendants.
Big impact doesn't always come from making big changes. By removing a small section of wall and by erecting a wall yet allowing the skylight to still shine through, we've taken 2 rooms, we've turned them into 1, and we've made it so that this room now has flow and consistency throughout. Floors are the foundation of the room, so you've got to get them right. Lesson 1, if you want to make 2 rooms feel like one, you need to have just one singular flooring material. In this case, a porcelain floor tile that looks like concrete sets the right tone. My goal was to link the kitchen and the lounge. Instead of sourcing another piece of furniture, I opted to install just a little bit of cabinetry on one wall. I was able to create a desk, toy storage that's low down that kids can access, and a bar for the adults. It's a way to get 3 in 1 and create a linking element between the kitchen and the lounge. If you've only got a little space to use as your lounge and only a little money left in the budget, you can find inexpensive pieces. Try and look for ones that are more condo size, a little bit tailored, smaller in scale, and try and find pieces that also offer storage. Fabrics aren't the first thing that you think about when you're designing a kitchen, but every space needs a little softening. And if you think about kitchens, it tends to be in big blocks, solid chunks of color. So I'm always drawn to pattern to help break it up and add a little bit of interest. I wanted to show that a do-it-yourself project can be graphic, it can be simple. Check out the clock. I think it hits the right note for artwork.
Cooking in the new kitchen is a dream because now two of us can be in there doing things at the same time and not toppling over each other, which was a huge problem before.
It just flows so nicely now. I feel like I belong in that space.
Sarah and Tommy.
I think I get a bad rap sometimes for being a bit of a snob in terms of materials and products, but this is a go to the store and buy it off the rack kitchen, and it looks damn good.
Cool, contemporary, urban style doesn't always have to come with a high price tag. You can achieve it by using available elements, adding a little bit of a vintage vibe, and kicking it up a notch with color. This is how you take two rooms that aren't working and turn them into one fabulous kitchen lounge. Today's case study is Debbie and Dave's narrow and cramped Victorian-style living and dining room. I'm showing you how to open up a tight space like this with vibrant color and keep it family-friendly.
I'd love more light. I want it to feel a little more current, a little more modern. I want it to feel contemporary.
It reminds me of the bottom of Battleship. It's dark. There's no energy to it at all.
I feel like I've landed in every era that I've ever lived in, and then some.
This room is a mishmash. It has no focus, no direction, and it's not realizing its full potential.
Let's talk about these floors. There's a nail popping through right here.
Okay.
Once you're at this point, a refinisher can't do anything about it.
Floors like this need a solution, and so do these dated wall treatments.
The walls are not the biggest worry we have. The ceilings are a major concern. This is looking like the telltale sign of a very bad renovation.
Definitely, it's the surface of another planet. It's not good.
So far, we're fixing walls, ceilings, floors. Is there gonna be anything left for any other area?
And we've got lots of areas to address. In addition to flooring and ceiling repairs, we need to find uplifting fabrics, add in versatile seating and storage, freshen the paint and glam up the drapes, update the lighting, and find a suitable dining solution. Ready to see how we've pulled it off? Here's the challenge of living in a small, narrow home. You need to find comfortable pieces that have the right proportions so they fit in the space. I'm here to tell you that's possible. I decided to opt for a sofa that was just shy of 7 feet long, which is standard proportions, and then decided to downsize the side tables to make it happen. It was worth making that trade-off.
Talk about a metamorphosis. It's the same space, but it's amazing how color and light can transform a space.
It's so tasteful, so beautiful, so open and bright and spacious that it makes me really, really happy to be there.
What should you look for in a floral if you want something contemporary and fresh and fun? Go for overscaled, bold, and graphic.
The best piece of furniture in this entire project has got to be that pink sofa. It is a very, very strong color statement, but it's also a classic sofa. It's so updated with that amazing punch of color.
Using a daybed to divide a room is an ideal choice. It allows flexible, comfortable seating. You can perch from either side when you're entertaining, but unlike a sofa, it doesn't have a high back that blocks the sight lines from one end of the room to the next. Jeff's ensuite is the perfect case study in how to turn a been-there 80s bathroom into a luxurious retreat by using elements that come from big box stores. Let's see what we have to work with.
They weren't kidding when they said 80s.
Yeah. My bathroom is green, it's blah, and I'd like it to be better.
Let's talk design direction.
Okay, what are you thinking? Is it traditional or is it modern?
Right now, we have a perfect example of what modern was. And I think
25 years ago.
I think this bathroom perfectly highlights the pitfalls of contemporary style, which is cool today and
This is a vision toward the future that never actually took place, because here we are standing in the future, and this is
Future don't look like this.
It's just green from floor to ceiling.
The whole thing is terrible.
I think a traditional approach offers softer lines and it stands the test of time. Everything in here is well considered in terms of placement.
Yeah.
It all just needs a tweak. So the tub needs to be narrower but longer.
Sure.
The sinks, maybe we need to reduce to a single sink to incorporate some other luxury elements.
Yeah.
And then we need to address, do we actually want a door that closes in the water closet, or do we want to concentrate on increasing the feel of the space? Because removing this wall would make it feel a whole lot bigger.
Okay.
The biggest money saver in a bathroom refit or reno is to leave the plumbing exactly where it is. It also helps to reference the style of the rest of the home. In this case, it's traditional.
We've done some stuff to our house, and we thought about doing the bathroom, but we wouldn't know where to start.
Here's our list for this space. Revise and replace fixtures without moving any plumbing. We need to address the walls, storage, drapes, vanity table, lighting, and mirror. Are you ready to see the end result? Let's take a look. When you've got 4 kids underfoot, life can be more than just a little bit hectic at times. Everyone needs a place to relax and rejuvenate. So we've taken a dated 80s bathroom and turned it into an oasis of calm. I'll shop anywhere and everywhere, but that's the key. You never shop just in one store. I'll take a big box vanity and add a custom top. It's about mixing all the different unique items together that creates an interesting statement.
I feel really, really good about the outcome of my retro vibe 1930s inspired metal frame shower enclosure. It was certainly a risk. I think it was a successful risk, and I think it definitely adds to the character of the room.
When installing a chair rail, make sure you know the height of your vanity. Mine is 36 inches high, so by putting the chair rail at 42 inches, it means that I get a bit of a backsplash behind the top of the bathroom vanity. Not all your counters need to be exactly the same height. If you add in a vanity table or a makeup table on another wall, it helps free up the main space in the bathroom, and it offers you a different option. You can be seated while putting on your makeup rather than standing and putting your face up to the mirror. Apricot is a delicate, pretty touch to infuse in a bathroom. It's not overpowering, it's not permanent, and it brings something feminine to the bathroom.
The most difficult thing to add into a bathroom environment is that soul and character that you want. And the softness is very difficult to achieve. But with the addition of some patterned fabrics, a couple of vintage finds in our vanity table and chair, and some really great tile patterns, we've managed to really warm up this space.
There is no rule that says a medicine cabinet must be mounted above the sink. Why not divide and conquer? I put his and hers medicine cabinets, one above the toilet, one above the end of the tub. This way they bookend the room, creating a heavy, dark accent to reference the vanity, and they create double the storage. At first blush, a drop-in tub may seem like the more cost-effective solution, but I'd rather commit the money right out of the gate and buy something spectacular and sculptural in a freestanding tub and let it be an easy one-step installation process. If you get a drop-in tub, you have to build a frame, then you have to tile the frame, tile the top, then install the tub. It's a complicated process and, as far as I'm concerned, never looks as good as a beautiful freestanding tub. Your plumbing fixtures aren't just a practical consideration, they have huge decorative impact, and they probably make one of the biggest design statements in the room. Think of them as the jewelry in the room. They're the finishing touch. They add polish, and they elevate the overall level of design in every bathroom.
What a lot of people don't realize is that you don't have to move everything around within a bathroom to achieve something that's updated and much more beautiful than what you started with. We didn't move the toilet or the shower enclosure or the bathtub or the vanity. Everything stayed where it was and was replaced with something better. That's what an update is. Nice and simple, super pretty.
The whole bathroom is fantastic.
I find myself just standing and looking around and just so calm and at peace and knowing that it's my own space. I just can't wait to use it all the time.
Contemporary styles and trends are more likely to come and go, but the classics are here to stay. If you want a bathroom that'll stand the test of time, don't go for the avant-garde. Stick with what you know and go traditional.
Andrew's bedroom is the perfect case study to demonstrate how to take a large industrial loft space and give it warmth and personality.
I want the bedroom to make a statement, and I want that statement to be pow!
To punch up a room with great architectural features, we're focusing on fabrics, drapery, paint, flooring, accessories, artwork, and furniture.
I love the kind of gritty, industrial, true loft feel, but it feels to me like this needs some softening. Right now, this is a bachelor pet. I'm guessing this bachelor doesn't want to be a bachelor forever. This is the classic you and me, right?
Yeah.
You love antlers, I love softness. If you and I do what we do best together as a team, we'll be able to create a bedroom that works for him and potentially for someone else.
There are many elements of a converted industrial space that make it appealing. It has a vintage vibe. It has a cool factor. Our job is to build on that and create something that feels like home.
Right now, the bedroom has a bed, built-in storage, and rugs that are way too small.
I think that you can tell the story of a cool concrete floor without showing all of it.
In a room this large, the bed should be the focal point. The polished concrete floor needs a statement rug to warm it up. Maybe a chair and some other pieces and accents. Are you ready to see it? Let's take a look.
This bedroom is a combination of some industrial and some finer elements. So what's the rule of thumb when it comes to mixing and matching? For me, it's about a ratio. You have to have equal amounts of both styles in order for them to work appropriately together. So in the industrial department, we have the ladder, the blue side tables, and the console. On the finer side, we've got a beautiful new bed, a fine carpet, and the upholstered wing chair. By keeping both of these in equal balance, nothing looks out of place. The dragon fabric isn't for everyone. It has an unusual color palette, but that's what makes it interesting.
We started out with something that was a very bold, patterned fabric. All we really needed to do, and this is very simple, is extrapolate other fabrics in similar colors from any of the colors within that fabric. Sprinkle them around the room fairly evenly, and you've got yourself a great scheme.
Your drapes need to be the same fabric throughout the room, but they don't have to be the same application. In this case, I decided to go for Roman blinds behind the bed because they're crisp, but I wanted a little bit of softening on the opposite wall, so drapes were the right solution there.
The real soul and the real personality in any room comes from the objects that belong to the client or the person who lives there. And in this case, we took the family heirlooms that belonged to Andrew and sprinkled them around the room, with the most significant one being really his grandfather's medals. I think it's important to mention that when you walk into Andrew's bedroom, it's pretty obvious in terms of color and pattern what makes such an impact visually. But what I think is the most important achievement in terms of taking his room from what it was to what it is that we've taken a room that was in no way functional and made it a really workable, usable space for him to live in.
I love the layout. I love the window treatment, which I had no idea how that would come together. And then I love the personal touches. So my grandfather's medals look fantastic, and it looks like a place you want to come home and relax in.
Case study closed. This large industrial loft bedroom is now a warm and inviting space, ready to enjoy. Today's case study is Gita and Jerry's sparsely furnished dining room. I'm going to show you how to take a blank space and transform it into something warm and inviting with plenty of character.
This room to me is like, how do you take a cardboard box?
Yeah.
And how do you turn it into a jewel box?
Right.
Right now it's just the two of us, and we tend to work long hours, but we always try to make sure we have a meal together. And I want to have it a place that's cozy, it's inviting, it's just something that feels intimate.
We want it to be the standout room of our main floor in the house.
Great proportions. I love the scale of this room, and I love that it is a square.
We've got walls in good condition. We have doors that close if we want to separate it from the rest of the space. And the greatest thing about this room is this is just a blank slate. I think that we need to get some pattern, get some interest, get some texture onto the walls.
Absolutely.
I think we need to play up the window.
I don't think that we have to skimp on elegance and glamour in order to have comfort and atmosphere.
When decorating the dining room, you need to start by looking at what you've got. We've got traditional baseboards, casings, and moldings. We need to embrace the traditional bones, embellish it, and make it fun and funky. You can be the lead embellisher on this project.
Yeah, I can embellish.
Just about anything.
We're gonna turn this lackluster dining room into a jewel by using traditional furniture and wallpaper, embellishing the floors, livening up the windows, and decking it out with chic accessories. Every dining room should be a conversation starter.
Remember what this dining room looked like when we started? You won't believe what it looks like now. I think of a dining room as a place for celebration, so I don't mind if it looks a little bit more fancy. This is a place to pull out the good china, set the table with some pretty, sparkly objects, put out some flowers, and make sure that everybody has a great time. Dining tables come in all shapes and sizes, but I think the hands-down winner is a rectangle. It is the most versatile. You can seat two and not feel like you're sitting miles apart, yet you can cram in a crowd when you need to. There are a number of motifs that we repeated throughout the room. It all started with the crown molding. It has a stepped profile, which we then repeated on the chair rail and on the panel detail. There's the motif that we painted on the floor, which is picked up again on the mirror and even slightly referenced in the Greek key detail that's on the ribbon on the draperies. Lastly, there's a scroll motif in the wallpaper that references both sets of chairs.
One of the most successful things about this room is that we added the panel detail down below on the walls, and then we added something that was a very strong statement in terms of wallpaper, but it's only on 50% of the wall surface. Down below, you've got a nice, solid, basic, simple anchor. Very, very important from a design perspective.
I chose to use a watered-down shade of the color we've got on the chairs to give it one more reference and reflection point from chairs to ceiling. I'm often drawn to pretty, sparkly, fancy chandeliers, but in a room where every surface is covered with pattern and interest, I thought that we needed to take a break with the lighting. It needed to have some restraint to balance out all of the opulence.
I firmly believe that when you give people a really pretty dining room, even if they've never entertained before in their lives, they're gonna get good at doing it because you want to be there.
Really looking forward to using it now, both for just intimate dinners with Jerry, but as well as just sharing that whole room and the experience with our family and friends, and can't wait to start using it.
Everywhere you look in the room tells a story, and when you look at the whole thing, it all comes together. It just feels like a special place in the house.
Dining rooms are about potential. The more exciting the decor is, the more exciting the environment is. So why be shy? Be bold. Even the plainest room can be turned into a jewel box with the right mix of fabric, furniture, and pattern.
Today's case study is Sonia and Gary's narrow, overcrowded living dining room. The entire family shares the space, or do they?
Check out this storage statement.
We're gonna show you how to inject style and sensibility into an open concept plan so that all can enjoy.
It's really hard to know where to put your furniture so that there's actually good flow to the room.
It's open, but it's tight. So this is tricky because right off the top, we've got a crazy layout happening here. We've got the kitchen in the far end and the dining room at the front.
Right.
Well, the stairway doesn't have a railing on it.
We've got a major issue here. We've got a little kid and we have a wide open stair.
Another problem that anyone with kids has to face?
Storage for toys. See, train play table, coffee table needs to find a new home, but let's think about some great toy storage solutions so that they're no longer the major design statement.
Next problem is bulky furniture.
This sofa here, look at this. That is a 12-inch wide arm. So right off the bat, times that by 2, you have lost 2 feet in the room to useless arms. Not to mention the fact that there is absolutely zero consistency. Nothing goes with anything else, and it's all just an absolute hodgepodge.
Sonia and Gary have a renovated kitchen in modern teak wood tones. In this open-plan home, that's a good place to start. For the living dining space, we have to address furniture and layout, fabrics and wall coverings, a tiny dining space, drapes and flooring, toy storage and artwork. Ready to see the results? Let's take a look. We started with a hodgepodge mix and no cohesive design direction. We took a design cue from the kitchen and created a living room, dining room that has impact, it has substance, and it has a terrific design vision. If you're tackling a long, narrow space, you need to scale down the upholstery. Forget the big, overblown, overstuffed pieces that act like blocks in the room. Instead, opt for chairs that can act as room dividers but still allow you to circulate around them. When working with vintage upholstered pieces, it's important to choose fabrics that are well suited. A 60s chair upholstered in a geometric print is a perfect marriage. My favorite thing about buying vintage is sometimes you uncover a hidden gem. Our best deal in the room? Well, it's a chair with some serious design credibility. A Paul McCobb chair, vintage 60s. We paid $350 for it. I found it online for $1,500. Repetition of pattern is an age-old design technique. I like to use it in one statement that is strong, which is the drapes, and one that is slightly more subtle, which is the back cushions on the sofa.
We found the perfect carpet, but it was too small. What did we do? We bought 2 of them and sewed them together. Excellent solution for a space where you need something really specific like that perfect carpet.
Your lamp side table combination should have some contrast. So look at what I've done here. A chrome angular geometric based table topped with the round teak ball lamp is just the right mix.
The Lightbox photo is, I think anyone would agree, a pretty spectacular focal point in a room that has no fireplace or no armoire or anything to really draw focus.
Introducing a banquette, a round table, and a few accent chairs allows you to create dining drama in a very small space.
Having a pendant light that drops down from the ceiling and holds the space in the center where the eye line is really, really important to give the feel of atmosphere and to also provide some light in an area where you really need it to have a proper dining experience. You want to look at flowers that are going to enhance the type of room that you've designed. What we wanted to do was do something really branchy, so the pussy willows that we put in the large vase, very strong statement, but very contemporary statement in terms of there being very linear.
When creating a space with little people in mind, it's always best to choose rounds, nothing with a sharp corner. Also, the repetition of the round helps to soften the room. We've got storage cubes that hide toys, we've got side tables with shelves, and a console cabinet that allows you to hide clutter. Let's face it, the kids aren't banished from this space, but there will no longer be a mess strewn all over. Kids can be in the room, there just needs to be a place for everything.
It's very calming. And I think the best way to explain that was Tommy, our son's reaction to the place when he first walked in. He looked around in awe, and he just sort of went right in and started playing.
Do you like the couch?
So the place, it feels like our home now.
We're actually using it. Whereas before we just kind of used separate rooms because it was really just Tommy's play area. We actually spend 90% of our time in that room compared to maybe 10% before. So it's like a whole new house for us. It's great.
Originally, when you walked into that room, the impression that you got was that it was a mishmash of stuff that didn't work. Now when you walk into the room, it looks like a fully realized and properly laid out and designed room. In order to live in your space, you have to be able to use it, but you also really have to be able to appreciate it for its beauty.
In today's case study, we've got 3 little girls with big personalities and 2 little rooms in need of some excitement. We're showing you how to pack each one of them with distinctive punch and still have them coexist and complement each other and the rest of the house. First up is the big girls' room. We're going to dress the plain windows, jazz up the bland carpet, and replace the bunk beds with something that has style and storage.
What gets me stumped is I don't know what to do other than beds and a dresser and some pictures.
I'm not seeing classic girl palette.
Okay.
How about if there was a room that was more like that kind of fun vibe? From the wardrobe that I'm seeing, they're cool.
It just has to be fun and pretty and somewhere they enjoy.
This is a box. We're gonna have to decorate the heck out of this box.
Ah, but that's not all. There's also a nursery in need of some excitement.
And now, we get to do it all over again in here.
Repeat.
Lola and Luca's little sister Coco can't go without. This room is dull and rickety. It needs to be fun too. For these 2 rooms, that means fabric, flooring, and paint. Some fun furniture and artwork, lighting, window coverings, major storage, and, you guessed it, little girl bling.
I want to create 2 distinct rooms that have their own character and personality, yet I want to create a linking element that connects the 2 rooms together.
Are you ready to see them? Let's go!
These rooms show what you can do with paint and decoration. I didn't change any major elements, but I completely changed the way that both rooms feel.
The girls' initial reactions were crazy. They were screaming, jumping.
Hi, Luca.
It's just fantastic.
When dealing with a small room, you need to use furniture to your advantage. By putting the 2 beds end to end, it creates a feeling of more space overall in the room, and I'm sure the kids are gonna love hanging out in there.
Kids have a lot of stuff. It's all about storage in kids' bedrooms. We totally redesigned the closet so that they could accommodate short hanging and then shelves down below.
There were lots of good furniture finds, but I have to say that the fabric is where it all comes together, and the fabric and the patterns and the texture are what brings it to life. I think this scheme truly captures the essence and the energy of what it means to be a kid.
I loved the animals, the paint.
I ordered the artwork animals online, but you could do this at home. If you've got some extra wallpaper lying around, simply cut it out in any pattern you like, any design, apply it with some wallpaper paste to the wall, and voila, instant artwork. Couldn't be easier. So much of the furniture available today is dark, boxy, and masculine, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted a curvaceous, more feminine feel. I happened to find a couple of side tables and a dresser that hit just the right note for a girly vibe.
That's the big sister's room. Now let's look at the nursery.
It's important to save money wherever you can. There was nothing wrong with the crib, nothing too fantastic about it either, but by spraying it a new color, it gives it new life, and it's super friendly on the budget.
It's just so perfect because all 3 girls have had the same crib. I couldn't have been happier. I love that they used the crib again.
This dresser would never be considered typical nursery furniture. Originally, I'm sure it was meant for a master bedroom, but hey, it cost $400, it was in perfect condition, and needed absolutely nothing done to it. There's enough room to put the change pad, accessories that you need, and a lamp. There's room for everything. I'm always drawn to light fixtures that can cast a pattern of light on the ceiling. In order to get the best effect, make sure you use a clear light bulb. The whole bohemian aesthetic incorporates frilly and feminine details. I couldn't help but be drawn to the mirror because it has a sort of frilly, lacy fretwork pattern all the way around it. It's just the perfect tie-in. These 3 little Spitfires are fun and funky. We've created 2 distinct rooms to go with their big personalities.
Today's case study is Lisa's big family kitchen. I'll show you how to update yours without tossing out what you've got.
I like things bright and cheery.
This is a big kitchen.
There's a lot that's worth keeping in here. This is good quality stuff.
It's got an eat-in area. It's got a freestanding island. It's got a wall oven, a desk. Man.
I love the size of the kitchen, the height of all the cupboards, and I love the depth of them.
All of these cabinets are made of solid pine, it looks like.
I mean, that is a solid door.
Here we are, more than 40 years old. It doesn't look like anything's falling off its hinges. And I think this is a perfect candidate to just repaint and redress.
But it isn't all good news.
We've got some essential layout issues. I mean,
Strangest sink placement I have ever seen in any kitchen. Very strange.
A modern layout will help this kitchen. We'll move the family fridge slightly out of the way and replace the dated cooktop with a range. The sink will move front and center on the island to give more prep space and room for seating. There's also a pass-through to an adjoining laundry room that we've got to address.
We've got a great starting point in this kitchen.
To modernize this big space, we'll start by revamping the cabinets. We'll update the appliances and flooring, introduce color and sparkle with a new backsplash and counter, brighten with paint and lighting, add comfortable furniture for family living, and throw in some totally today accents.
this is easy to reimagine.
I think so.
Oh shoot, this isn't I Dream of Jeannie.
No, that doesn't work.
One last look at Lisa's before, because this is how it looks now.
We could have ripped this kitchen out and started from scratch, but there's a certain charm in respecting what you have and making the most of what's already there. If you've got something that's working, why not try and really make it sing?
My new kitchen is absolutely fantastic. When I walk in, it's so bright, it's so cheerful. I feel like I sparkle in that kitchen.
To me, the magic of the transformation is that the house was of a certain era, and we've designed a kitchen that looks as though it belongs there.
When you've got color on the floors and color on the cabinetry, you can take a break on the walls. By selecting to go with a neutral color, it allows our highlights used elsewhere in the room to really stand out, and the walls act as a backdrop to bring the rest of it to life. An island is what we all yearn for in a kitchen, but it only works if it's well organized. By relocating the sink to the long side and having the dishwasher directly adjacent, we now have an efficient and effective cleanup area. It was Tommy's suggestion to paint the island blue.
That's daring.
I'm nothing if not bold and daring. It is proof positive what paint can do to take a kitchen from being dark and dowdy to extremely bright and light and beautiful and fresh and brand new looking. It's amazing.
Nothing dates a kitchen like bad lighting, and I can assure you that lighting is an investment that's worth making. To get the most out of your money, try and reuse any existing fixtures. So when changing a pot light, keep it in the same location. Then you'll only need to add a minimum number of new lights to get the maximum end result. Why not make the artwork in your kitchen something that combines form and function? A simple frame turned into a tack board covered in a pretty fabric elevates the art of household management. Our entire approach to this kitchen was to take things that were good and make them better. By raising the height of the desk up to be one single kitchen counter height, we eliminated the need to have both a chair and a stool back to back bumping into each other. Now this is the ultimate in flexibility. You can seamlessly move from the counter to the island.
I think that a lot of people get really caught up with having to put their stamp on their kitchen. Well, it's not always necessary. And in this case, we did a cosmetic makeover that made a huge dramatic difference.
My 2 daughters are so excited by this kitchen. They have breakfast there every morning. There's already been math homework done on the island. There's lots of space for that. So it just brings to me family time. That's where we will be.
Today's case study is a master bedroom stuck in another era. We're going to show you how to create a retreat that is as timeless and chic as the best hotel.
Right now, it looks like a hotel suite in a B&B.
Be a country look, like ruffles and lace and folk art inside it. It's kind of old-fashioned.
A feminine, pretty approach in the 80s was a direct route, do not pass go, right to lace and ruffles and flowers.
Correct.
If you're a woman now and you want something romantic and pretty,
Yeah.
it manifests itself in a totally different way.
Sure.
Instead of lace,
It's about bling.
Yeah, I was gonna say crystal, sparkle.
When I go shopping, I get really drawn to things like chandeliers, things that shine.
As for the furniture,
we got a queen-size bed. Wouldn't everybody love to sleep in a king?
Absolutely.
There's great room for bedside tables.
Yes.
There's room right now for a giant wall unit.
Right.
We've got a huge trunk at the foot of the bed, and we have a chair. As it is right now, you could tick through and say this room has everything it needs. It's just about changing the style quotient. Overall, I think a master bedroom is about having a space that you can retreat to. So it needs to be calm. Diane's room is plagued by an outdated color scheme and an overabundance of flowers and fussiness. It's time to strip it back, make it clean and simple and restful.
And we're going to achieve this by updating the color scheme with a master mix of neutral fabrics, which extends to wallpaper and flooring, some inexpensive furniture finds, storage, and artwork. Let's see the results.
The best decorating makeovers showcase a dramatic change. We started with something that was fussy and floral, and now we have a room that is calm, it's beautiful, and it's natural.
You can't just throw a bunch of beige things in a room and expect it to work. You do have to explore things like texture. You do have to look at adding elements that are glossy and that are shiny and that will support and juxtapose against these very, very neutral and flat elements.
There's no hard and fast rule that says your bed has to be on a particular wall. My preference is always to see it opposite me when I walk into the room. Don't rule out a window wall as the right spot. If you're unsure of which wall is best, I suggest you clear everything else out to enable you to try your bed on each and every wall.
We have a seating area where there wasn't one before. The furniture is the proper scale for the size of the room, and they've got a bigger bed. Everybody loves a bigger bed. What I'm most happy about is that this is a room I know that our homeowners are going to love and enjoy for a long time to come. It's a different perspective and a totally new take on an existing space. They've lived there for a long time. We came in and switched it up. Now I hope they stay there for a long time.
Well, I think before when I first decorated, I had the pink and the ruffles, and I thought that was really romantic and pretty. But I realize now that I didn't need those things. Lace isn't what makes it. It's the calm, soft colors. Just all the details in the room have just made it so much more classy, so much more sophisticated, and I just love it.
If you've always thought neutral is beige and beige is boring, I hope I've convinced you that neutral is natural and natural can be beautiful.
Today's case study showcases how to design for kids that won't stay little for long. We're turning this bedroom into a timeless nursery, and we're doing it fast.
I'm nervous about the timeline because this baby is coming sooner than later, and I've got that nesting instinct right now, so I really want to get it done.
Let's make it a room to grow up with the kid.
I don't want spaceships and fire trucks and things like that.
I think this room needs some color. Let's take your tie as inspiration. Did you wear that special?
Yeah, I did.
For today?
You said that you were thinking about blue.
It's blue.
You know, I love the blues.
How about pattern of some sort?
Like a paint pattern? Stripes, swirls, clouds.
Could be. Clouds. No, not clouds. See, that's juvenile.
I'm just kidding.
Let's go deep. Let's go like good darker colors.
Okay.
The number one thing I've learned about nurseries is you need a fraction of what the baby furniture industry would tell you need.
Okay, so what do you need? What are the basics?
You don't need an expensive crib.
Okay.
It's a 2-year piece of furniture.
Temporary.
Right.
Right.
So I would think more in terms of the other pieces of furniture. I would think about, you know, the change table being something that can do double duty and morph into something else. I would think about the dresser being a good piece of furniture.
Okay.
Let's go for grown-up pieces, like nothing juvenile.
Okay.
Buying expensive baby-specific stuff is a total waste of money.
All right then, in this Sophisto nursery, we need to address the ceiling, walls, fabrics, furnishings, lighting, artwork, and storage. Are you ready to see how it turned out?
What we've shown here is that with an innovative combination of paint and wallpaper, you can take any blank slate, boring box and turn it into something that is stunning on all surfaces. What says baby in this room? Well, everything was designed with baby in mind, but only the crib and the change table are baby specific. Every item was designed thinking about the long haul and hoping these will be able to grow up with this little guy. My selection of the orange chair is based on a bit of experience being the mother of 2. If you choose a chair that's really just designed only for nursing, then you're not going to use it for years and years to come. I wanted something that works for now and works in the future.
To be perfectly honest, I think that the orange dresser looks great in the room because the room needs and wants that bold hit of orange, our accent color. Not necessarily because it's that dresser.
I still think the orange is the right dresser. Always have, always will. I will frame just about anything. $3 flashcards framed up in a custom shadow box is the perfect expression of high and low style to me, and I think it's the ultimate choice for this room. The painted stripes on the wall reinforce our color scheme and link all of the elements together. Darkest blue here.
Correct.
They also act as an anchor for our artwork because our artwork is pretty light, bright, and white. Without it, I feel that it would disappear, but the stripes give it a real pop.
Our fabric started out being pretty cool. Then we added the ball fringe, and those drapes are phenomenal.
The bold pattern on the drapes acts as a linking element between the striped wall and the pattern ceiling. It draws your eye up and helps hold the room. Why settle for single-purpose solutions when you can get dual-purpose? The little table beside the chair, not just a table, the lid comes off and it's also a storage box. It's not necessarily an intentional approach, but at the end of a project, if I count up all the fabrics and patterns used in the room, it usually tallies out somewhere at 10 to 12 fabrics. In this case, it's 11. And you know what? It just wouldn't look like my signature approach if it didn't have that many pulled together.
It really feels like this is my son's room.
I think this takes it to the next level. It's a little more funky, it's a little more leading edge.
If you create a room that's designed only with baby in mind, it will soon appear too juvenile. This nursery doesn't look like all the rest. It's sophisticated and original. It will improve with age. Today's case study, Jennifer's chaotic and disorganized basement.
My basement is a total dumping ground.
It's a functional garage.
I'm gonna show you how to make it a clutter-free, multifunctional space the whole family can enjoy.
Wow, this is big. How many feet long is this basement?
It's about 60 feet. Here's what happens in a new build house. You get down here and you think, wow, it's such a great big open space. Let's not put up any walls. And then what you end up with is the lawnmower, the laundry, the sports equipment, the media room, the toy department, and then the office. And this is when I say you gotta create some definitions of space. A basement needs a good plan to address the different functional demands. You need storage. Perhaps you need folding space for the laundry. You need a place to hang out and watch TV or a movie and just lounge. If you've got kids, they need a place to play, and you need a place to put all their toys. And I just want to see some walls.
I don't think that they have to be made out of drywall.
Oh, okay.
I think you could make it out of cabinetry. Walls of storage.
So there are task areas and storage areas.
You got it. I think it needs some color, some brightness.
I really just want it to feel like a cozy family room.
To create a multi-purpose basement, you'll want to start with layout and storage. Fill it with practical furniture and comfy seating. Bring in color and texture with fabrics and a cozy carpet. Add stylish window coverings. Create a play zone for the kids, and add accents to finish the space. You thought this basement was a lost cause? Well, check out the end result and get ready to plan your own redo. How do you make your basement not feel like a basement? Well, treat it like a room above ground. You need drapes, you need softness, you need color, you need accessories, and you need some artwork. And that is what will really make it feel like a place for living and lounging and relaxing.
It's warm, friendly, it's colorful, it's inviting. It's the best part of the house.
All in all, it doesn't feel like a subterranean environment anymore. It's sophisticated enough, but it's still a very friendly place to be.
This basement is a multifunctional space. It's not just about nighttime movie watching. If it were just a nighttime space, we could make it dark. But if you want to create something that's appealing through the daytime, a place where kids can go to play, why not try and make it as bright and cheery and happy as possible? Sometimes it works to open a space up and knock down the walls. In other cases, like this one, it's much better to put up a wall, help define the space, and get exactly what you need.
I think it just makes so much sense for us. Certainly hockey equipment, records, kids' toys will all be put in their place because they have a place now.
Because we were able to segment it, the entire family has a place to be and a place to function. And the laundry area and the storage areas are tucked neatly away in the back so that nobody needs to look at all that stuff. And it's still a really, really attractive environment from a decorative standpoint.
When selecting furnishings, avoid the use of any extraneous pieces. If you don't need it, don't buy it. A side table, a coffee table, a media unit, and a console. That's really all you need. It'll help you banish clutter once and for all. When it comes to fabrics for a kid-friendly space, choose ones with a dense pattern. If you choose a high-contrast red and white, the white will give it freshness and make it pop, but the red will give it the durability and the wearability you need. The best way to make you forget that you're in a basement is to hang full-length drapes. It doesn't matter if it's just a little bit of window at the top of the ceiling. When those drapes are closed, you'll believe that you're sitting in a room above ground.
Definitely the carpet was a splurge element, and necessarily so. We couldn't put something down there after going to all the trouble of inserting all of these cabinet solutions and all of this furniture, and then have it underlaid with something that wasn't gonna last. Invest in a really good quality carpet and let it stand the test of time.
To be able to close those curtains on that mess that the boys can create is just hands down the smartest thing anyone could have done for us. It's just opened up our house and it almost feels like a bigger house now.
We started with chaos and clutter. What we've ended up with is an inviting and exciting space for good family fun.
Yay!
Today's case study is the most underrated room in your home. We'll show you how to make the chore of laundry happy and bright by kicking up the wow factor.
Wow.
Wow is a good word.
No, it's not wow. It's going to be wow.
Wow is a great word for when we're finished.
Sorry, I was jumping ahead to the end. Wow! I can just imagine how great it's gonna be.
I run down the stairs and I run into the laundry room and I put on the wash and I try and get out of the dungeon as fast as I can. I absolutely hate it.
Strangely, we've got a room that has everything on one side and a whole lot of unused space on the other.
By the time you get to the basement and you've spent all your money decorating upstairs, you kind of run out of steam and you think, oh, fine, who cares? We won't worry about our storage solutions. If you don't worry about your storage solutions, you end up with exactly this, things that just have to sit on the floor.
Totally.
Right?
I don't have any folding area for laundry.
She must be an amazing folder because right now you've got a big sink, Big washing machine, big dryer. She must fold in the air. It's air folding. What do you think the best solution is for the floor? We've got a concrete floor.
You definitely have to have something that is malleable and that is flexible enough that it will naturally and easily be installed to slope toward the drain.
So what are you thinking, like sheet linoleum?
Could be sheet linoleum, it could be that dimpled rubber product.
Oh, that industrial floor, like stuff that they would put in airports and...
Yeah.
What's in there?
We need to do, oh, here? Oh, this is cold storage. Okay, so we can't lose the door because we want to keep cold storage. That's a good thing to have.
Door stays. The lighting here goes.
Yeah.
The drain
stays.
Stays. Keeping all of the appliances and plumbing essentially in the same spot to minimize any cost, and then amp it up.
And to amp up this laundry room, we're gonna start with the floor, update the appliances, add color, storage, lighting, a backsplash, and then the pretty things. Let's take a look. The direction of the laundry room needs to start somewhere, and this one came from an industrial rubber floor. Sounds like a strange choice, but when you consider the wide array of juicy colors, it was a natural jumping off point.
The splurge element in any laundry room is gonna have to be the two most important objects in the room, okay? We got a great washer and dryer combination. But what I really love is that we were able to counterbalance all of those appliances and hard functional elements with things that were warmer and more friendly, like our salvaged cabinet and our corbels.
By taking 2 linen towers and connecting them with a hanging bar, I was able to create an area for drip drying. This is energy efficiency at its best. Next, I connected the towers with a folding table. Beneath that, we're stowing laundry baskets for folding. Now we have an entire wall that was created out of 2 existing elements. When designing your storage, think a little bit about your needs and what it is that you're looking to put away. 2 tall, narrow towers work well for folded sheets and towels, whereas the extra deep proportions above the washer and dryer allow accommodation for deeper, bulkier items. If you calculate the height of the tiles before establishing the height of the shelf, you'll be able to ensure that you have full rows of tile with no half cuts. Even in the laundry, there's room for a little pretty. The light fixture served as inspiration for our wall color, and it elevates task lighting beyond the utilitarian norm.
Wow, who has a chandelier in their laundry room?
We didn't have anything in our budget for artwork, so Sarah actually created artwork with buttons. And it worked. It's pretty darn cute.
These counters made of recycled material are the same price as something made with new materials. So that's an easy decision to go green.
You don't just stop at a washer and dryer in a laundry room. That's what we found when we got there, and it wasn't good enough. Now we've got a room totally fully realized and totally filled with things that really make it cozy and lovely and really functional.
It doesn't look like a laundry room. It's just a place you want to go to. It is so pretty. It's just a place that I think I can really enjoy doing laundry, which I certainly didn't enjoy before. That is for absolute sure.
We started with a dingy, dull space in the basement, but thanks to some architectural salvage, some repurposed furnishings, and some cheery buttons, we've ended up with a happy space to do the weekly wash.
Okay, here's a question. Is this cute or awful?
Awful.
Okay, it's awful. Okay, how about this?
Love that chair.
Does that seem a bit grand and throne-like?
Is grand and throne-like ever a problem?
Maybe not in your world.
Do I have to? Okay, does this completely dwarf me? Did I really just ask you if this chair dwarfs me as a person who's under 5'6"?